In 1989, Freddy Krueger came back, and the Nightmare on Elm Street series released its fifth entry, The Dream Child. But after all this time, how is this weird entry holding up? What's up everyone, I'm Trap, I love movies, and today we're talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. This one was written by Leslie Bohem and directed by Stephen Hopkins, who also directed Predator 2 and The Ghost in the Darkness. I'll go over my pros and cons, as well as my own personal rating for this movie, all spoiler free here. But if you've seen the movie, stick around to the very end, I'll get into a spoiler chat where we can really slash this thing open. The story picks up with our Dream Master, Alice Johnson, expecting a child with Dan. But when her friends start to drop dead one by one again, she realizes Freddy's found a new way back in, through her unborn child's dreams. But let's get right into it. The good stuff. The premise here is truly interesting. Using an unborn child as the vessel for Freddy's return gives the film a fresh angle on the Dream Invader concept. It's a stronger concept than most sequels attempt. Visually, there are moments that work. The dream sequences lean more gothic and unsettling. The production design and special effects should get some credit for ambition. Lisa Wilcox as Alice actually works a bit better for me this time around. She carries the film well given the material. If you saw my review for part 4, The Dream Master, you know that I'm not really a fan of Alice in that movie. I wouldn't go as far to say as I enjoy her here, but Lisa Wilcox's delivery is a bit more engaging for me, and we don't have to go through that whole awkward pre-transition period with her here. Even if the script doesn't always support her, her performance gives a decent anchor to the film. For fans of practical effects, there is something here for us. The film doesn't entirely hide its intent on delivering a weird ride. And now, the bad stuff. The tone here feels very uneven. Freddy swings between menace and wisecracks, and the blend just doesn't really work for me. His character is extremely less terrifying, more showman, and that definitely reduces the dread factor. Character depth is lacking. Again, most of the supporting characters feel thinly written, their motivations are weak, their deaths are less impactful because we barely know them, and to be honest, I just really don't like them. If you're like me, the payoff in the end just doesn't quite land. The film sets up some interesting ideas, but resolves them in a way that feels rushed or undercooked, and that kind of weakens the emotional weight. If you've seen my other Nightmare reviews, you know that I'm not a fan of this goofy Freddy approach that they took. Here, the humor and one-liners just don't land, and for me, this took the film away from the tone I prefer in this franchise. In my honest opinion, The Dream Child is a disappointment and honestly becomes a chore to get through. It has a strong concept and some strong visuals, but just doesn't deliver exactly what I'm looking for. It doesn't scare like the earlier entries, and it just doesn't engage me emotionally enough either. I'm giving this one a 2 out of 5. It's not very good. It's definitely not the worst that we got. But hey, that's just me. What did you think about The Dream Child? Let me know down in the comments, I'd love to talk about this. If you're new here, welcome. You can check out my other Nightmare reviews right up here. If you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe. It would really help this tiny demon baby of a channel grow. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, there's my spoiler-free take, so if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out. Come on back so we can have some more fun with it, but there's your warning. Alright, as I've said in previous videos, let me start by saying I can't imagine how much work and dedication goes into creating and completing a motion picture. I love movies, I love horror. I don't enjoy bashing on people's art, but here we go. You know what this movie does well? It makes me rethink my negative opinions on the fourth entry. I don't take anything back that I said about that film. This movie is just so bad that it gives me false thoughts that 4 was better than it really was in comparison. Anyways, after we get a very strange sex scene? What am I looking at here? While the intro credits are still running, the film wastes no time jumping back into distorted dreams. Alice dreams that she is Amanda Krueger, and, well, We all know how that scene ends, right? No shocker, she ends up pregnant, huh? We jump over to her high school graduation ceremony, and let me just say, this scene is hilariously bad. There's lots of bad voiceover work in this movie, but it really shines here. It also seems like there was two versions of this scene filmed, one with Mark's character present and one without. And it just seems like it was all crammed together without much attention paid. It's here that we get introduced to our new unfortunate teens, and it's an odd bunch. Maybe high school was different back then, but where and when I was in high school, these kids never would have been a group. The parents we see in this movie, except for maybe Alice's dad, all give off a really goofy vibe too. Like they feel like characters we'd see in Matilda or something. I will say that the effects in Dan's death are pretty awesome. It's literally the only memorable moment to me in this entire movie. Everything else just kind of fades back into the abyss where it belongs. As I briefly said earlier, Lisa Wilcox and Danny Hassel's acting improved here to me. And of course, Robert Englund's acting is always great, whether I enjoy what he's saying or doing or not. But there really isn't any more positives I can say about the acting in this movie. Most lines are just not delivered well. There's a shot in the original film that gave the creators a really hard time, and that was showing the jump rope girls in slow-mo and then going into the teens in normal speed. This film just gives up trying on that aspect, and it's pretty hilarious. There's one moment where everything is slow-mo, and as soon as the character walks on screen, it's very obviously just sped up to normal speed again. And at the end, they don't even try. Everything is just slow-mo. I just wanted to point that out. I thought it was funny. It seems Alice lost or just simply doesn't use all the powers she gained in the last movie. Amanda comes back and does something she probably could have just done in the third film. And the way Jacob finally weakens Freddy is by puking some weird stuff on him. Gives me flashbacks of Fireball dog piss. Oh yeah, and Jacob.
Let's go. I want to learn stuff from you. She's no fun anymore. Teach me.
Ugh. Also mentioned earlier, the overall idea for this movie is definitely an interesting one, and I feel like it really could have produced a great movie, but what we ended up getting just didn't work for me. Freddy coming through the constant dream state of an unborn child, not feeling safe anymore even if you're awake. This all shows promise and are some really great ingredients for new things to do in a sequel. But here, all the lore and rules introduced just start to feel muddied, and every time I watch this, I get to a point where I just give up trying to follow everything, which is honestly saying a lot for me. Also, I'd like to point something out real quick. Now, I'm definitely overdue for a rewatch of the 2010 remake, but a lot of the negatives that I hear about that movie are the fact that they put into the forefront that Freddy isn't just a child murderer, that he's a chomo as well. We get hints of this in these original films through subtext, but something caught my eye this rewatch. It's quick, did you see it? 2 words caught my eye in that quick sequence, which forced me to rewind it and pause it. Take a little look-see here. So, yeah, there you go. I get that it's quick, and most people probably wouldn't notice it, but there's no denying that. So overall, I get what they were originally going for here. I like some of the gothic atmosphere we get, and there are some good effects in certain moments. Not this moment, though. Other than that, this movie is pretty throwaway for me. It's not nearly enough to ever make me want to rewatch it. Freddy's barrage of would-be funny lines riddled throughout death scenes kind of seals the deal for me too. It was introduced in 3 in an enjoyable way, 4 took it further and I disliked it, 5 here takes it to the bank and I just can't stand it. And well, we all know what nightmare movie's coming next. Alright, that's all I got. Again, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. You can also check out all my other nightmare reviews here. And remember, if Freddy's trying to use your womb as his Airbnb, at least make him cover the security deposit. See you guys next time.